Have identified a new species of mammal just after the extinction of dinosaurs.
You have not seen this animal before this story.
Just when you think you've seen it all in the animal kingdom, nature surprises us with creatures that seem straight out of a science fiction movie.
Scientists have discovered a wealth of treasure. For them, it's like striking gold.
First thing I saw was a very large sea cucumber, about so big.
Imagine diving into deep waters and suddenly coming face to face with a being that defies all logic. Something like that happened to a group of researchers when they encountered a massive sea cucumber, but not just any sea cucumber. The closer they got, the bigger and stranger it looked. Our planet still holds astonishing secrets. Every year, scientists discover new species that challenge our understanding of life on Earth. From marine creatures with unimaginable shapes to tiny frogs with transparent bellies, biodiversity continues to amaze both experts and the public alike. Today, I'll take you on a journey through some of the most shocking and recent discoveries in the natural world. Some of these species seem to have evolved with unique abilities that make them true masterpieces of adaptation. Stay until the end, because what you're about to see will make you question everything you thought you knew about life on Earth. The pelican spider, a predator from the past that still stalks its prey. For decades, scientists believed that the pelican spider only existed in fossil records, trapped in amber for more than 50 million years. It seemed to be an extinct creature, a remnant of an ancient world that we would never see alive again. However, time had other plans. In 2019, a discovery in the jungles of Madagascar completely changed what was believed about this species. Not only had it survived, but it was still hunting with lethal precision. The first thing that stands out about the pelican spider is its bizarre appearance. Its elongated neck and beak-like jaws make it look more like a small prehistoric predator than a simple spider. But what is truly terrifying is not its form, but its hunting method. Instead of spinning webs to catch insects like most arachnids, this species has developed a far more sophisticated tactic. It exclusively preys on other spiders, ambushing them with a deadly strategy. The pelican spider detects its victims by following the silk threads of their webs. Once it finds a target, it doesn't attack immediately. Instead, it manipulates the threads with its legs, creating vibrations that mimic the movements of a trapped prey. When the unsuspecting spider approaches to investigate, the pelican spider strikes, impaling its victim with its elongated jaws and injecting a paralyzing venom. It keeps its prey suspended in the air while the venom takes effect, ensuring there is no chance of escape. This ruthless behavior and its ability to eliminate other predators have made it an impressive example of evolution and survival. Though small in size, its lethal efficiency proves that nature always finds ways to perfect its hunters. If you thought a spider with such sinister abilities was the strangest thing science has recently discovered, wait until you learn about the longest living being on the planet. The olinguito, a hidden inhabitant of the clouds. Deep within the cloud forests of the Andes, among dense foliage and constant mist, lives a small mammal that remained unnoticed by science for centuries, the olinguito. Despite its charming appearance, this animal was not officially recognized as a distinct species until 2013, making it one of the most recent mammal discoveries in the world. Olinguitos are nocturnal and solitary creatures, experts at navigating the treetops at altitudes over 2,700 meters, 8,900 feet, above sea level, a height that truly makes them dwellers of the sky. Measuring less than 40 centimeters, 16 inches in length, and weighing only about 1 kilogram, 2.2 pounds, they are smaller than a domestic cat and have developed exceptional agility to move effortlessly between branches. Although classified within the carnivore group, the olinguito is not a strict predator. Its diet is surprisingly diverse, consisting primarily of fruits, nectar, and insects, showcasing its adaptability to its environment. Its preference for nectar also makes it a key pollinator in its ecosystem, aiding in the reproduction of various cloud forest plants. For decades, this mammal was mistaken for its close relative, the olingo. However, a detailed study revealed that the olinguito is an entirely distinct species with significant differences in size, fur texture, and behavior. One of the main reasons why the olinguito went undiscovered for so long is its elusive nature and remote habitat. It prefers to remain hidden within the forest canopy, where it moves discreetly and rarely descends to the ground. Its nocturnal lifestyle further reduces the chances of human encounters, making it one of the most mysterious mammals of the Andes. Kaikaiagaga, the extravagant tree hopper. In the vast and mysterious world of insects, few groups are as strange and visually striking as tree hoppers, Membracidae. With thousands of species worldwide, these tiny insects have evolved astonishing shapes to blend into their surroundings, mimicking thorns, leaves, or even tree spines to evade predators. But in 2020, a peculiar discovery added a new twist to the story of tree hoppers, an insect so unique that it was named after one of the most iconic pop artists of modern music. While examining the collections at the Carnegie Museum of Natural History, entomology student Brendan Morris stumbled upon an unknown species of tree hopper. What caught his attention was not only its body structure, but also the unusual shape of its genitalia and the fine hairs on its legs, distinctive traits that did not match any previously recorded species. To honor its extravagant appearance, Morris decided to name it Kaikaiagaga, after pop star Lady Gaga. Tree hoppers are not only remarkable for their shape, but also for their unique lifestyle. Unlike mosquitoes or aphids, which can be harmful to plants, tree hoppers feed on tree sap without causing significant damage. Using their specialized piercing mouthparts, they create tiny wounds in the bark and secrete a special saliva that keeps the opening from closing, allowing them to continuously extract sap. Their survival strategy is twofold. On one hand, camouflage protects them from predators. On the other, their ability to secrete saliva helps them feed without relying on a moving food source. Kaikaiagaga, with its bizarre morphology, is not only a symbol of nature's creativity, but also an example of how science and pop culture can intersect in surprising ways. Madagascar stick insects, a bold evolutionary gamble. When people think of stick insects, the first image that comes to mind is that of a camouflage master, thin, brown, or green, almost impossible to distinguish from a twig. However, in Madagascar, nature decided to break this rule. In 2019, scientists discovered two species of stick insects that completely defy this classic image: Acreoptera manga and Acreoptera maroloco. Unlike their discrete relatives, these species do not hide. Their bodies are covered in vibrant colors, with metallic shades of electric blue, iridescent green, bright gold, and intense purple. They are so striking that they look more like an artistic experiment than a product of evolution. But in nature, standing out too much can be dangerous. Most stick insects rely on stealth to survive, but Acreoptera manga and Acreoptera maroloco have opted for a high-risk strategy. Their colors provide no camouflage at all, making them an easy target for predators. So why did they evolve with such bright hues? The primary reason is sexual selection. For these insects, color is not just a disadvantage, it is also an advantage when it comes to attracting mates. The brighter they are, the more attractive they become, as vibrant colors can be a sign of genetic strength and good health. But they are not completely defenseless. To compensate for their eye-catching appearance, these insects have developed a highly effective chemical defense mechanism. They possess glands in their necks that release a foul-smelling substance when threatened. This stench is so strong and repulsive that it discourages even the most determined predators. It is a clear warning: if you attack me, you will regret it. In addition to their coloration and chemical defense, these insects can grow up to 24 centimeters, 9.5 inches long, making them some of the largest stick insects in the world. Their imposing size and dazzling colors make them an evolutionary marvel, proving that nature does not only create camouflage strategies, but also unique combinations of beauty and survival. The marsupial that defies gravity. Australia is home to some of the world's most fascinating creatures, from the lethal to the adorable. One of the most surprising inhabitants of its forests is the greater glider, a fluffy-looking marsupial that seems straight out of a fairy tale. Until recently, it was believed that only one species of greater glider existed. However, in 2020, a genetic study revealed that there are actually 3 distinct species: the southern greater glider, the central greater glider, and the northern greater glider. This discovery tripled their diversity, but also revealed a troubling reality: their populations are declining at an alarming rate. Greater gliders cannot fly, but they have developed an equally impressive way of moving. They use a skin membrane that stretches from their elbows to their ankles, allowing them to glide up to 100 meters, 328 feet, between trees without touching the ground. This mode of locomotion not only saves energy, but also keeps them away from ground predators, such as foxes and dingoes. They are nocturnal creatures, meaning they spend most of their lives silently gliding through the treetops, almost invisible in the darkness of the forest. Each individual maintains multiple dens within tree trunks, often having up to 20 different shelters within its gliding range. This constant movement between dens helps them avoid detection by predators. Despite their incredible gliding ability, greater gliders face a threat they cannot escape: deforestation and wildfires. In the past 20 years, their population has declined by 80%, placing them at serious risk of extinction. These marsupials depend almost entirely on eucalyptus forests, both for shelter and food. If the trees disappear, so do they. Unfortunately, indiscriminate logging and devastating wildfires have wiped out vast portions of their habitat, leaving them with fewer and fewer safe places to live. Dermophis donaldtrumpi, the blind amphibian. In 2018, scientists in Panama discovered an amphibian as strange as it was little known: a blind caecilian, a subterranean creature that resembles a worm more than a frog or salamander. They named it Dermophis donaldtrumpi, and the choice of name was not a coincidence. The British company EnviroBuild, which specializes in sustainable construction, purchased the right to name the species and decided to use it as a form of protest. Their reasoning was simple: just like this underground, eyeless amphibian, Donald Trump seemed to ignore scientific evidence on climate change. Beyond its political symbolism, Dermophis donaldtrumpi is an extraordinary creature. Caecilians, Gymnophiona, are a poorly understood group of amphibians that spend most of their lives underground, tunneling through the moist tropical soil. They are completely blind and rely on their sense of touch and smell to navigate and find food. One of the most fascinating aspects of this species is its parenting method. Instead of simply laying eggs and leaving them, the mother develops a special nutrient-rich skin, which her offspring repeatedly bite off and consume until they are strong enough to survive on their own. This process, known as dermatophagy, is an extremely rare form of parental care in the animal kingdom. The leaf-tailed gecko, a master of disguise. Deep within the dense and mysterious forests of Madagascar, where biodiversity reaches extraordinary levels, hides a reptile so perfectly adapted to its surroundings that it can remain undetected even by the most trained eyes. This is the leaf-tailed gecko, Uroplatus fiera, a species discovered in 2016 that has perfected the art of invisibility with an almost flawless camouflage. Unlike other reptiles that rely on speed or aggression for defense, the leaf-tailed gecko places complete trust in its ability to blend into the landscape. Its body and tail mimic the shape and texture of dry leaves, allowing it to completely disappear from the sight of potential predators. This gecko belongs to a group of camouflage experts, the Uroplatus genus, known for their ability to mimic twigs, bark, and even lichens. However, Uroplatus fiera stands out due to its larger size and more serene appearance, in contrast to its smaller and more famous relative, the satanic leaf-tailed gecko, Uroplatus fantasticus, which has a far more intimidating look. The Marojejy National Park, located in northern Madagascar, is the only place in the world where this species has been found. This rainforest is a fragile and endangered ecosystem, meaning that the survival of this gecko is directly tied to the conservation of its habitat. The leaf-tailed gecko faces threats not only from natural predators, but also from human activities. Deforestation and illegal logging are rapidly reducing its habitat, forcing it to adapt to smaller and more fragmented spaces. However, perhaps its greatest threat comes from the illegal pet trade. Due to its unique appearance, Uroplatus geckos are highly sought after by collectors and reptile enthusiasts. The exotic pet trade has put enormous pressure on their populations, as many of these geckos are captured and sold on the black market. Conservation efforts in Madagascar aim to protect their habitat and regulate wildlife trade, but the future of this species remains uncertain. Brookesia nana, the world's smallest chameleon. When people think of chameleons, they usually picture medium-sized reptiles with the ability to change color and move slowly. But in 2021, a discovery in Madagascar completely changed this perception. Scientists found Brookesia nana, a chameleon so tiny that it can fit on the tip of a finger. With a total length of only 13 mm, 0.5 inches, this reptile is officially the smallest chameleon in the world, even surpassing its close relative Brookesia micra. Due to its minuscule size, researchers jokingly nicknamed it the Micro Nana, a play on words that reflects its record-breaking miniaturization. Despite its size, Brookesia nana is an efficient predator in its ecosystem. It feeds on tiny invertebrates such as mites and springtails, which it hunts among the leaf litter of the tropical forest. During the day, it patrols its habitat in search of food, but at night, it hides among the vegetation to avoid becoming prey itself. This chameleon does not possess the spectacular color-changing abilities of its larger relatives. Instead, it relies on its natural camouflage, blending seamlessly with fallen leaves and tiny branches, making it almost invisible in its surroundings. So far, scientists have only found 2 specimens of Brookesia nana, suggesting that its population may be extremely small. Its habitat, the tropical forests of Madagascar, is constantly under threat from deforestation, putting its survival at risk even before researchers have had the chance to fully study it. Fortunately, the region where Brookesia nana was discovered has recently been designated as a protected area, offering hope for its conservation. However, many mysteries still surround this species, and researchers continue their efforts to learn more about its behavior, habitat, and evolutionary adaptations. The giant siphonophore, a 120-meter-long creature hidden in the ocean. The ocean remains the least explored territory on the planet. Despite technological advancements, there are still marine regions as unexplored as the surface of the moon. And in 2020, a team of researchers exploring the deep waters off the coast of Australia encountered something that defied all logic. At first glance, it appeared to be a glowing rope suspended in the vastness of the ocean. But as they got closer, the scientists realized they were facing a colossal organism. It stretched over 120 meters, 394 feet, making it the longest living being ever recorded, far surpassing the blue whale. But the strangest thing about the siphonophore is that technically it is not a single organism. It is a colony composed of thousands of tiny beings called zooids, each with a specific function within the structure. Some are responsible for feeding, others for movement, and others for reproduction. Despite being individual organisms, they work in perfect coordination, as if they were a single, giant creature. One of its most impressive features is its bioluminescence. In the darkness of the deep sea, the siphonophore glows with its own light, creating a visual spectacle that few have had the chance to witness. But this ability is not just for show. The light attracts unsuspecting prey, which become trapped in the tentacles of the hunting zooids. These tentacles contain stinging cells similar to those of jellyfish, paralyzing any creature unfortunate enough to venture too close. The discovery of this organism is further proof of how little we know about the oceans. If a creature of this size remained undetected until recently, what other unknown beings might be lurking in the depths? And the most unsettling part, the siphonophore is not the only creature that challenges our understanding of life on Earth. What comes next is even more astonishing. The psychedelic frogfish, a walking work of art. In 2009, scientists were exploring the coastal waters of Ambon Island in Indonesia when they encountered a creature that looked more like something from a surrealist painting than the real world. Its skin was decorated with a mesmerizing pattern of yellows, oranges, and pinks, with irregular lines and spots that seemed to shift with the light. They named it the psychedelic frogfish, and from the very first moment, it was clear that this creature was anything but ordinary. In nature, bright colors often signal danger, a warning that an animal is poisonous or deadly. However, the psychedelic frogfish uses its striking appearance as camouflage, blending in perfectly with the vibrant coral reefs of its habitat. Instead of hiding with neutral tones, it disappears into the explosion of marine colors, a rare but highly effective strategy. Unlike fish that hunt by chasing their prey, the frogfish prefers patience. It remains completely still, waiting for an unsuspecting fish to swim too close. At the perfect moment, it suddenly opens its mouth, creating a vacuum that sucks its prey in within a fraction of a second. It is an opportunistic predator that does not waste energy chasing food, but instead lets it come to him. If its hunting method is surprising, its movement is even more bizarre. This fish is not designed for swimming. Instead of gliding gracefully through the water, it moves by hopping along the seafloor, using its large pectoral fins, almost as if it were walking. But its peculiar locomotion does not stop there. When it needs to move faster, instead of using its fins to swim, it gulps water and forcefully expels it through its gills, giving itself an extra boost. This unique propulsion method, unlike anything seen in other fish, allows it to navigate its environment without relying on traditional fin movement. Elysia marginata, the solar-powered slug that regenerates itself. Sea slugs are rarely at the forefront of groundbreaking discoveries, but Elysia marginata is an exception, an organism so extraordinary that it blurs the line between animal and plant. Unlike any other known creature, this self-decapitating slug possesses an unparalleled ability. It can voluntarily detach its own head and regenerate its entire body from scratch. While regeneration is a well-documented phenomenon in nature, found in species like starfish and salamanders, Elysia marginata takes it to an entirely new level. This sea slug doesn't just regrow a limb or a minor body part, it reconstructs its entire anatomy, including muscles, organs, and complex internal structures, all within a matter of weeks. But what makes this feat even more astonishing is how it manages to survive while missing its body. The answer lies in an unusual relationship with photosynthesis, making Elysia marginata one of the few known animals that can generate energy from sunlight. The key to this sea slug's survival is a process called kleptoplasty, a biological marvel where it steals chloroplasts from algae and integrates them into its own cells. Chloroplasts are the structures responsible for capturing sunlight and converting it into energy, a function typically exclusive to plants. By absorbing and storing these chloroplasts, Elysia marginata essentially becomes a living solar panel, able to photosynthesize and produce energy directly from sunlight. This ability proves crucial when the slug decapitates itself. Instead of relying on food intake, the severed head continues absorbing sunlight, sustaining itself until a brand new body has fully regenerated. The entire regeneration process takes around 20 days, after which the slug is back to full functionality without any lasting damage from its extreme survival strategy. Such a radical adaptation can't be a random quirk of evolution. Scientists believe that self-decapitation is a survival mechanism against parasites and infections. If an individual's body becomes compromised, whether by disease, injury, or parasites, the slug doesn't struggle to fight off the issue. It simply discards the infected body and grows a new one. This level of regeneration provides a significant evolutionary advantage. Instead of succumbing to a slow decline due to illness, Elysia marginata gets a fresh start, ensuring its survival in the competitive marine environment. Elysia marginata redefines what it means to be an animal. While many species rely on external food sources for survival, this slug has found a way to harness the power of the sun, a characteristic almost exclusively associated with plants. By merging photosynthesis with one of the most extreme regenerative abilities known to science, this sea slug challenges fundamental biological classifications. It exists in a unique gray area between plant and animal, proving that evolution can take unexpected and unprecedented paths. Atolla reynoldsi, the deep-sea phantom jellyfish. Discovering a new species in the vast ocean is no small feat, but having one named after you is an honor reserved for only a few. This is precisely what happened with Atolla reynoldsi, a deep-sea jellyfish found in the pitch-black waters of Monterey Bay, California. It was named after Jeff Reynolds, a dedicated marine conservationist and longtime volunteer at the Monterey Bay Aquarium, in recognition of his tireless efforts in ocean research. But beyond its name, Atolla reynoldsi is a mystery shrouded in the abyss. This ghostly jellyfish inhabits depths of more than 3,200 meters, 10,500 feet, a realm so extreme that it defies human comprehension. Down here, the pressure is over 300 times greater than at sea level, temperatures hover just above freezing, and sunlight never reaches. It is a place where only the most highly adapted life forms can survive, and Atolla reynoldsi is one of them. Most jellyfish use long, flowing tentacles to drift through the water, capturing prey with specialized, stinging cells. But Atolla reynoldsi breaks all conventions. Instead of a classic jellyfish design, this species has evolved with numerous short, curled tentacles that give it a bizarre, otherworldly appearance. Scientists are still unraveling the exact purpose of this unusual body structure. However, they hypothesize that these coiled tentacles serve a dual purpose, acting as lures to attract unsuspecting prey while also helping to confuse potential predators. This adaptation sets Atolla reynoldsi apart from its relatives and highlights just how diverse and unpredictable deep-sea evolution can be. This jellyfish belongs to the Atolla genus, a group of deep-sea medusas often referred to as crown jellyfish due to their distinctive bell shape. However, Atolla reynoldsi is so drastically different from its cousins that it has been classified as an entirely new species. Unlike its relatives, which typically feature one elongated tentacle used for prey capture, this species has no such structure, making its hunting strategy an enigma. While most deep-sea jellyfish are relatively small, Atolla reynoldsi stands out in both form and size. With a bell measuring up to 13 centimeters, 5 inches in diameter, it is one of the largest jellyfish in its family. Its bioluminescent capabilities, a signature trait of deep-sea dwellers, likely help it navigate the abyss, whether by luring prey or confusing attackers. Despite its size, this jellyfish is incredibly elusive. Since its discovery in 2006, only a handful of specimens have ever been observed, making it one of the rarest jellyfish known to science. The Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute, MBARI, has documented only 10 individuals, which means much of its behavior and life cycle remains unknown. The discovery of Atolla reynoldsi reminds us of how little we truly know about the deep ocean. The twilight zone, where this jellyfish thrives, is one of the least explored environments on Earth. It is home to countless undiscovered species, many of which may possess adaptations just as bizarre, or even more so, than Atolla reynoldsi. The deep sea is often called the last frontier of Earth, a vast and hostile domain where life has evolved in ways we are only beginning to understand. Every dive, every remotely operated vehicle, ROV mission, and every new observation brings more surprises from a world that remains largely unexplored. How many more alien-like creatures lurk in the darkness, waiting to be discovered? Atollarenoldsi is just one piece of a puzzle that continues to unfold, proving that the deep ocean is full of life, stranger and more fascinating than we ever imagined. As we conclude this journey through some of the strangest species recently discovered, one thing is certain: the natural world still holds secrets that challenge our understanding. From bone-eating worms lurking in the darkness of the ocean to tiny chameleons that fit on the tip of a finger, these discoveries remind us that biodiversity is far greater and more astonishing than we ever imagined. Each of these findings not only expands our knowledge of life on Earth, but also reveals the incredible adaptability of organisms to the most extreme and diverse environments. How many more species are still waiting to be found, deep in the jungle, in the ocean's abyss, or even in ecosystems we have yet to explore? If you found this journey as fascinating as we did, make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling us which species surprised you the most. And if you know of other strange creatures that deserve to be discovered by the world, share them with us. The exploration of nature never ends, and together we can continue unraveling its mysteries. See you on the next adventure into the unknown.